Welcome to Bent TV. I'm Greer McGearey, President of the Seahorse Club of Victoria, and it is my pleasure to be joined by Brenda Appleton. And tonight we're going to speak about the broader activities of Seahorse and the broader transgender community in Melbourne. And Seahorse is part of a loose coalition of trans and gender diverse groups who are participating in a series of workshops throughout the thing. And this has taken some years to sort of finally get together, but it's been a privilege in the last 12 months to be able to get this up and running, hasn't it, Brenda?
It's been a fantastic development. I think Melbourne, Victoria, has more trans and gender diverse groups than any other big centre in Australia. And to think that we can all work together and be providing support to each other is just a fantastic development. Over the years, I think we've been very much a fragmented community, and we've got a sense of purpose and I guess common desire to improve things for our community, which is great.
Well, that's one of the things I think has been really important in the last 12 months, is that striking up a formula for the groups to get together, but without losing the identity of the individual groups. And of course, it's not just male to female, such as what Seahorse is involved in. It's also female to male, as in F to M shed, and the variations in between. So would you like to give a brief outline of what the group has been trying to achieve in this last 12 months?
I guess the group is very much recognising that we're not just a transgender community. We've got, depending on the survey, somewhere between 25 and 35% of our community now identifying as gender diverse. So we've got several groups involved who are much more focused on a gender diverse expression of gender, rather than being driven by the binary of male or female. And I think it's fantastic that those people feel comfortable to explore a gender diverse future rather than feel they've got to fit in male or female. And for many people, that's just not a comfortable place to be. I think what's great about us working together, and as you've said, it's important that we don't lose the integrity and the independence of any of the individual groups, and therefore it is a loose alliance, and we're really doing it through a working group. So we don't have a peak body, and I don't think we need one at the moment. One of the reasons that we've worked hard to put this coalition of groups together is that we need to be working with government and getting much more funding in terms of support for our community. And government has said to us in the past that we're too fragmented, they don't know who they're talking to, and they're getting, I guess, a diverse range of opinions and expectations depending on the group they're talking to. So I think it's fantastic that at the moment we can demonstrate to government that we have some unity, we have some commonness of purpose, and we're supporting each other. And therefore we have got a working group the government can be dealing with, and we can start negotiating for funding for our community in a much more tangible way than we could just a few years ago.
Well, that's a really strong reason why the group is sort of formed, but there's also the more practical day-to-day activities that we've been involved in. And would you care to sort of share some of those activities that we're doing which are common to each of us, but not necessarily a focus of the individual group?
I guess one of the reasons that we've put the group together and we are working together is that there's a lot of individual skills and experiences across the different groups, and therefore by working together we've got a framework within which we can share those skills and that experience. And we've been running regular workshops, once a month workshops, for people to attend to, I guess, partly network, but substantially get some information about an area that they might not be familiar with. So one session which we had back in April was trans and gender diverse success stories. and we had a panel of 11 people, and thanks to you, Greer, a great MC. But we had a range of ages, we had a range of gender presentation and gender identity, we had a range of ethnicities, and we had a fantastic discussion about what it meant for those people to be trans and gender diverse, and how they'd worked through some of the issues and challenges that they'd faced. And we had about 50 to 60 people there on the day, which exceeded our wildest expectations.
Yes, I think that was really a brilliant day in that it did fit in with our title of trans and gender diverse, which it allowed a whole range of people from either end of the spectrum, as it were, to do that. And I might sort of cobble it together with an observation I was making last year, that the first trans and gender diverse film festival, Tilda, and I had the opportunity to provide a speech as the closing session, and as I looked out over the audience, it really struck home to me how that terminology is there in practice, trans and gender diverse. There was a handful of people such as myself, but there was such a broad range of individuals sitting in that audience of about 300 people that you couldn't help but be impressed with it. And I think that's what the trans and gender diverse grouping that we've got together is really starting to pull together. And I think an important thing. And I know in your role that you do have a significant role in advocacy at the government level and beyond. So thank you very much. One, that Seahorse can be involved in this group, but also to all the other groups who are involved in it as well. And so thank you for joining us. Thank you to the audience for sharing your time to hear about the trans and gender diverse activities that are occurring in Melbourne and the progress that people are making to be comfortable with themselves in their identity. And it's a very important function that we do perform. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Greer.